Thank you. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Lucas. I'll be hosting today's show, unfortunately, because the other two, Soben and Gaurav, could not. I've got two very special guests, Hugh from New Zealand that lives in Japan, and of course we know Michael. Hello guys, how are you doing?
Hey, good, thanks.
You're doing well.
So we're here to review the second day of the Indian and New Zealand test match. And I have to say, we'll go with Hugh, that surprisingly New Zealand played really well today, not just with the ball, but also with the bat.
Yeah, it was a little unexpected, but I didn't think. Some people thought the game would run away from New Zealand, but I thought, well, 260 one day wasn't a big total. 4 wickets down for 142 at one stage. Yeah, it looked like India were on top, but yeah, anything could happen. And we had a new ball at the start of the morning, and then it all just panned out. Southee bowled brilliantly. What could you say? And the openers just were the icing on the cake, basically. It was good.
Yes, Michael. With Tim Southee. Yesterday, I was on the show with Adam, another New Zealander. I said it was a huge mistake. Southee playing, they should have played Wagner. I think I'm eating a bit of humble pie a bit right now. He was absolutely fantastic, Tim Southee, and considering his away performances in Australia, he was very poor there. So this was very unexpected. But I was happily proven wrong by a world-class bowler. Your thoughts on how he went today?
Oh, look, I mean, Tim Southee is a wonderful bowler. A couple of years ago, Trent Boult had more wickets than Tim Southee. Tim Southee's now got about 30 more than Boult. He's found another gear. And interestingly, I've got to perhaps eat some humble pie for myself. In 2015, I think it was, we got Dimitri Mascarenhas as a bowling coach. And basically, he worked with Boult and Southee, and he took 10 kilometres an hour off their pace, and they stopped swinging the ball. It was like the worst bowling coach in history. But what he did do is he worked a lot with Southee on the three-quarter ball, the one where he had holds the ball 3/4 across the seam and gets the ball to move away or move in off the pitch. And so you swing away, and then moves back in. And while temporarily the results were awful, once Southee got a bit of pace back and started getting his swing back, that ball suddenly is now just dynamite. And that was, I mean, I think he got 3 of the wickets with that delivery, and he's probably picking up 2 or 3 wickets a match, maybe more than that, with that delivery that Mascarenhas worked with him on. And it's actually turned him into an absolutely wonderful bowler. The ability to have. You can't commit forward because of the swing. You can't stay back because he's going to seam it into you. Players are always in no man's land when they're playing against Southee. So he's becoming a wonderful player.
Yeah. So Hugh, to cap off that, what did you thought of Southee's performance today, and what went right for him?
Actually, I was at work. I was just following it basically on the internet, but I could imagine what was happening out there. I mean, yeah, Southee's been bowling so well. I mean, he took 5 wickets in the World Test Cricket Final. He's been on top of his game for quite a while. I mean, he's got like over 300 Test wickets. He's basically about the second best New Zealand bowler after Hadley, really. I mean, you can't really say he isn't. And India. And actually, that was the whole thing. I was just looking at the statistics, and he's got an average under 25 in Asia for a bowler, fast bowler. I mean, that's just remarkable statistics. I mean, he's got 5 for everywhere: Australia, England, of course, New Zealand, India, Sri Lanka. He's really on top of his game.
Michael, New Zealand came out to bat, and quite normally with Indian pitches, where India literally makes 300 to 350, the opposition just literally get rolled for 150 or 200. Turns into an absolute minefield.
It's like they flipped the switch from road to minefield, and this was like the opposite. I mean,
Yeah.
India were looking all at sea like they couldn't bat on the pitch. It was absolutely unplayable. And I mean, they were like Ashwin's runs were the runs he scored all came off the edge or the toe of the bat. He didn't time a single thing, and he managed to get 40 odd by edging it. Or there was one point I think he hit 3 4s in a row, all of them edges. And it looked like he just couldn't. It looked like it was a minefield. And then all of a sudden the Kiwis come out and they just batted. Just batted as if it was just another day at the crease. Will Young scored pretty well. Tom Latham did what he normally does and scored 30 off 100. That's what he does at the start, and then he starts to accelerate later on. It was just clinical. The New Zealand batsmen were just watched, saw the ball, they got in good positions, and they put the bad ones away. And it was almost like the opposite of what you'd expect, like Indian batsmen batting against bowlers.
Well, I see they made none for 100, and I'm thinking, gee, I wish Australia can do that outside of Australia, like New Zealand can. So that was absolutely fantastic. And Hugh, Will Young, unbelievable today. Really held his own, and he's usually he's the one that's untested against spin. He's really not known to spin of these conditions, and he was absolutely brilliant today. Fantastic.
He's a great talent. I mean, when I watched him on that England tour, I thought, hey, this guy should possibly be in the final. But of course, he's sort of still was a rookie. And I was kind of surprised that he was opening on this tour, actually, to tell the truth. But I mean, he's a great talent, and he's proving it right now. That's magnificent. I mean, I don't even know if he is an opener. We're sort of making these makeshift openers with Daryl Mitchell in the T20, and now we got like Will Young opening. But the coming to the fore, these guys, they're doing really well. Will Young is definitely a special talent. I mean, he's been around for quite a while for Wellington, I guess. He's played a few tests, not too many, maybe 5 or 6. But I mean, he's looking like a seasoned opener, really. I mean, incredible in partnership. 129 unbeaten. I mean, it's amazing.
It's hard not to like. As an Australian, when we tour India, Michael, literally we're 5 for 100. I can only dream one day we get to none for 120. I'd be a very happy man if we can do that in Pakistan in 4 months' time after the Ashes. That would be swell. But
Australia did it on the last tour. The one match they won. One match they won, Australia got a big century opening partnership, and that was it. Every other partnership was rubbish, and Australia won. And it seems that actually, getting India out of their comfort zone of rolling teams early, if you can do that, they don't handle it as well. On the Will Young thing, though, as far as an opener, he wasn't an opener, and then they sort of realised that this is where the gap is. Batting at number 4, Ross Taylor's going to be there a while. Devon Conway's turned up, who's your perfect replacement for him. You've got to find somewhere else to bat. And so he moved to playing as an opener in domestic cricket about a year and a half ago, and started focusing on that. And he was playing for New Zealand A as an opener, and hit a good century against India A in there. So, I'm writing an article on him. You'll see that on First Post in about 2 hours.
And of course, Jameson, you weren't with us, Michael, yesterday. But I thought Jamison's first spell and his day yesterday was absolutely fantastic, surprisingly. And we probably now have to consider him. He's right there with Cummins as the best bowler in Test match cricket, in my opinion. So, what's your opinion on that, Michael and Hugh?
I mean, he's kicking goals at the moment. Every time he comes out to bowl, he's taking wickets, and they're big wickets. He's getting good batsmen out, and if you can keep doing that, then you're going to keep your name in lights, aren't you?
Yeah, 49 wickets and 9 tests. That's unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
And he's I
think Hugh dropped out there. Did you hear that, Michael?
No, I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Okay, you might have to repeat that again, Hugh. I think you dropped out.
You can hear me? I'm just thinking, like, Jameson's got 49 wickets in 9 tests. Who has the fastest 50 wickets in tests? Is that Philander from South Africa? Would you know?
I did know. I mean, the benchmark in 9 tests for New Zealand had always been Jack Cowie. He did 45 wickets in 9 tests, and that was, he had World War interrupting and things. So, and he was sort of considered the best bowler in the world. And 45 wickets in 9 tests was extraordinary. And here's, Jamieson might get to 50 if he only pick up one more.
Yeah, he should be able to pick up one more.
Well, the way that Jameson bowled in his first spell on the first day, he's odds on to get that. Moving on to day 3 tomorrow. What do you think will be in store, Michael? How do you see New Zealand going on and playing?
Well, I mean, they're really setting up for a tilt at the end of day 3 to try and score some big runs. So it seems to me like, the morning seems to be the hardest to bat in these conditions, and so a case of see off the morning, then see off the new ball, and then you've got that sort of middle-aged, not too old ball. It's not soft, but you can have a go at it in the afternoon. And I honestly think that the way they're setting them up is just to bat and bat and bat and bat and bat and bat, and you're out of the game. Score 550 and make India come into bat with 210 behind and batting 1 or 2 to try and save the match. Wouldn't that be wonderful to watch?
Yeah.
It's good to have that kind of arrogance, Michael, when you won the Test World Championship. I can't imagine possibly saying that when Australia's out there playing outside of Australia, then alone in India. So I'm glad you have that confidence in India.
I'm not saying that I think that's what will happen. I think that's what the plan is.
Yeah.
Well, as they say, hindsight's a beautiful thing. What do you see happening in day 3 here tomorrow, moving day, as they call it on the green?
Well, I think it was a pretty good perspective from Michael there. All the wickets tumbled this morning, didn't they? There was like what was that? That was about 6 wickets for 87 runs from India. And only 1 or 2 about 2 or 3 after lunch, and was that 3 in the morning? So yeah, it does, and then it seemed plain sailing for the New Zealand batters. So it does seem like afternoon is the best time to bat. So yeah, if we can weather that storm in the morning, maybe just hopefully lose no wickets or lose just 1. I could see a big score coming for sure. And of course, we've got the best batters come. Williamson, Taylor, you got Nichols there. That's a pretty good 3 to come. So as long as only 2 wickets, I still think we can still get a big score. But yeah, that morning session would be I think that would be the.
Once the fog comes in and the ball starts swinging around and it's hard to see in the morning, I think it's very much morning is hard to bat. Afternoon it starts to become easier to bat, and so we'll get to see. But it looks sort of like that's the pattern, and it's quite good that everyone's still there for the harder part. And it's also quite good that the ball's old too, so it won't be the swing or the nip that you get with a hard new ball and first thing in the morning.
Well, like I said to you before, literally, in these situations, teams get rolled for 100, 150. I was hoping to see a Kane Williamson 5-wicket haul like we saw with Joe Root, but I don't think I don't think that would be the case. This pitch is holding up very good. It's not a rank turner by any means. That's
starting to go though. There is some balls. There's the odd ball that's really turning, and I mean Ashwin bowled one that he was holding. Seems square on. That normally what happens there is they drift and they don't actually turn much, because when it's square on, you've got to have it really rough surface, and it hit the pitch and it gripped and it spun. And one that was supposed to go straight actually turned, and you thought, ooh, if you're holding a square seam and it's spinning, that's saying that this pitch is going to really start to go in day 4. Could be a real minefield.
Okay, so final thoughts now. Then we'll head off. Hugh, what's your final thoughts for today's play, and going on forward for the next test for the rest of the test match?
Yeah, today's play was incredible. It got us back into the game. Southee was magnificent. 5-wicket bag. The openers played really well. Yeah, I agree with Michael. I think we need a big score here because we're going to bat last, right? So if the pitch does turn into a minefield, we need a big score right now. Take the bull by the horns. Well, I don't know how much they can get, and who knows what might happen. It could be a bit of a collapse. Who knows? But if they can get up to 450, I think New Zealand got a good show on this game. And
final thoughts to you, Michael?
Yeah, look, I think the one issue is that we've probably batted a little bit slowly. And you think we've batted for 60, 70 overs or something, and we're still 200 behind. And so while we've taken a lot of legs out of their bowlers, we haven't probably done enough yet that we're still, still a collapse, and collapses are very possible on a pitch that's keeping low and spinning against quality spinners. When you come in new to face spin, it's hard. We probably haven't scored quite enough runs to have put ourselves in the position that maybe batting this long would have normally done.
Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Hugh, on debut. First show he's done, so thank you very much for Hugh. And of course, Michael, always a pleasure when you come on to give your thoughts about New Zealand cricket. And we look forward to seeing both of you tomorrow for day 3's review. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Pleasure.
Okay, that's all for today, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please send likes, and thank you for watching, and we'll be on tomorrow. See you guys.
Cheers.